All right. We are live on YouTube on time, which is really nice. Gordana, sometimes the technology is in our favor and sometimes it has not been in our favor, but today it's working and so happy to have this time with you. I'm really excited for the live. It's going to be great. It's going to be
Yes, it's
great.
beautiful because it's a Christmas special, and
Yes.
I want us to tap into, you know, wonder and generosity and awe and the magic of it all and the meaning of it.
Mm,
Why are we doing this? I mean, you don't have to be religious in order to understand that there is something happening on at Christmas.
yes.
Uh, in the Western world because we all focus on one thing. And for me, it's like focusing on the light and the love that we can share with each other. So you don't have to
Mm,
be religious in order to do this. It's a
right.
question of being reminded of the important things
Mm,
in this reality. And
yeah.
since we are all doing it at the same time, the frequency becomes really, really strong. So it's
Yes.
easier to tap into it. And I
Yes.
think we should ride that wave and tap into this wondrous feeling of generosity and abundance and light and love. And
Yes.
I want to share a thing that I experienced actually yesterday, which put me into this this spirit of Christmas. We were walking outside, and in our path there was this mother and a little child in a stroller. It was a little girl,
Mm,
and she just stood up in the stroller. This girl, she was maybe 3 years old, 4 years old. She stood up in it, held hands, held herself to be able to stand like this, and she was watching the lights, and she did like, oh, and she said, Mommy, look at the lights. And she just stopped. Her mother just stopped in our path. And we stopped. And I looked at the child, and she was beaming with light. She was in total wonder. And these were lights, the most common lights, Christmas lights everywhere. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, oh my God,
mm,
look at the beauty of this.
yeah.
This child sees this magic, which most people don't see because they're so in a hurry. They need to buy stuff, they need to do things. They're just on autopilot.
Right.
And she just stopped, look at those lights, and she was in awe, in
Mm,
awe. And that was such a beautiful feeling to see, for
yeah.
one thing, that the mother connected to this and she actually stopped in her autopilot. She stopped, we stopped, and we all looked at the lights.
Mm,
And it was beautiful. It was so magical. And it reminded me of a time when my son was 4 years old. We were walking through the mall, and the Christmas decorations everywhere. And he's like, Mommy, the joy is big and it just keeps getting
mm.
bigger, he says.
That's
And
great.
I'm like,
That's
right,
great.
how great is that? I remember me also stopping with him to see this. And so I started thinking, how is it that children can see this and
Mm,
we can't? And I'm thinking maybe it's because they are new in this world and they somehow remember before coming to this world, they remember source and how source looks like. And source is light, source
yeah.
is love, source is abundance, source is joy, and
Yeah.
it's just getting bigger. And
Mm,
they are translating this into our everyday life. And if we're not present, we miss it.
yeah. Yeah.
So for me, all this, ado about these Christmas decorations and stuff, you might think that, yeah, it's because they want to sell more stuff and blah, blah. I think that what we're doing is we're creating or recreating something that we remember from our source. We're
Mm,
recreating it in this world, and children are able to tap into it quicker than we.
yes. Yes. Yeah.
So just taking this opportunity to be in awe of all the wonders that we have created everywhere, the lights and the glitter and the colors and all of that, I
Yes.
think we need to stop and think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And to reclaim our childlike wonder is
Yes. Yes.
is the I think one of the greatest pursuits we can embark on in this world is to
Yes.
reclaim. I like, when Hubert's saying it's only increasing. It's so beautiful. When I drive around
Mm-hmm.
with our kids, and I remember my son Colin, he had a little lisp uh, when he was younger, and he'd be like,
Mm.
"Christmas lights! Like, look at the Christmas lights!" It was
Yes.
so cute. He was so excited,
Yes. Yes.
and Lauren and I were talking while we were driving the other day, like, man, we missed that joy of just like
Mm-hmm.
every house. It would be the same exuberance. He'd say, "Look at the Christmas lights." And
Yes.
I think what's so beautiful about this time and the symbolism of this time is what I think we must really reclaim. And it gets taken
Mm-hmm.
from us in commercialism. Like you're saying, like, well, they just want to sell us stuff. Well, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the veneer to mask the true
Mm-hmm.
symbolism that we can all relate to, and
Mm-hmm.
that we just passed the darkest day of the year, 12/21, and
Yes.
the contrast and the light in that darkness is what makes
Mm-hmm.
it so magical when all these
Mm-hmm.
brilliant lights shine, flicker, all their
Mm-hmm.
colors, all their beauty. Well, that's really us. Each light,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking in preparation this morning, each light strung up, however it is, that's actually each of us. And
Yes.
this world can seem so dark, but when we flick that light on
Mm-hmm.
inside of us, it is the most incredible thing. And we're talking about Christ consciousness. We're not talking about religion. We're talking about we
Mm-hmm.
are the light. We're not talking about
Mm-hmm.
submit to. We're talking about, there's that verse in the Bible says, the angel says, um, glory in the highest, peace on earth, and goodwill towards men. And I'm like, I bring that. You bring that.
Yes.
We
Yes.
bring that each
Yes.
and every time. And this contrast in this time where in the darkness, the light,
Mm.
oh, beautiful. And it's good that we celebrate the light. It's
Mm-hmm.
so good to be excited about the light.
Yes, and I mean, you can do this on your own every single day. I do that, and you do that. But when we join,
Hmm.
that is when this frequency is multiplied. And this is what create which can make it manifest easier. This is why we feel like there is more kindness in the world during Christmas. And people will say, yeah, but that is because we are taught that we're supposed to give people stuff. It's not authentic. It is look at a child and you will see how authentic this is, because the child doesn't think about, money. The child thinks about gifts.
Hmm.
And the universe is filled with gifts.
Yes.
There are gifts in abundance. Now, life is not meant to be lived on autopilot. So a time of Christmas is there to remind us of that we need to be present in
Hmm.
order to see all these presents that are out there. And I actually thought about this morning, and I'm thinking the universe does not want us to live on autopilot. So it actually wants us to wake up like a child on Christmas Day every day.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you could choose to wake up as a child on Christmas Day every day. How
Hmm.
would your life look like? Because every morning is an unwrapped gift.
Hmm.
How you choose to open it is up to you. Now, you might be so much on autopilot that you wake up every morning and you don't see the big Christmas tree standing in your way. You will go around it, not seeing it, because you always go around it, not seeing it every single morning. That is your autopilot. And the Christmas tree is filled with lights, it's filled with presents, but you just omit it and then you go on autopilot. And
Hmm.
that's that day. You did not open one single present that the universe had for you. You
Hmm.
chose not to open them because you were on autopilot. Now imagine being this little girl in the stroller, waking up in the morning and thinking, whoa, look at this Christmas tree, look at the
Yeah.
lights. Which present do I want to open first? And it's the small things. I'm not talking about, well, I want a yacht or I want a new house.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking about waking up in the morning and maybe opening the curtains and seeing the sun and thinking, oh, look at the sunrise.
Hmm.
Now
Yeah.
that's wondrous.
Yeah.
Everything, everything we do in this world, eating an apple is wondrous because it came from nothing. It came from
Mm,
nowhere. And you have it in your hand and you're crunching. The crunch is magic.
mm,
That's the presents that are this every single morning is filled with those presents. Now we become more aware of it because we have a real Christmas tree in our room and we can see it and we see the children, being so happy. So we remember how it is. Every single day is Christmas Day. We just don't
mm.
see it.
Yeah, yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. As you're sharing, there's been this trend that people say happy holidays instead of Merry
Hmm.
Christmas. And
Yes.
and I think with good intent, perhaps people don't want to offend those that don't celebrate
Mm-hmm.
Christmas and they want to, there's Kwanzaa, there's Diwali during this time, there's Hanukkah during this time. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
beautiful um, celebrations and
Celebrations. Mm-hmm.
holidays to
Mm-hmm.
honor and recognize. However, the irony is that even in the word holiday is a holy day. And what is a holy day? And what does even the word holy mean? And a religion has made it absent of, it means to be absent of any human desire and allow God's full light and love to embody
Mm-hmm.
and live through. But there's also a play on that word. There's HOLY, holy. And then you could
Mm-hmm.
also look at it as WHOLLEY,
Holy. Mm-hmm.
holy, is in
Mm-hmm.
oneness.
Mm-hmm.
And this is such a special time, I think, you're talking about every morning as an unwrapped gift to remember
Mm-hmm.
the holiness of this day and
Mm-hmm.
integrate back ourselves as opposed to letting all the systems in the world and the
Mm-hmm.
narratives take these
Mm-hmm.
away from us. It's like the child has the gift and someone takes it away and says, that gift is
Yes.
not yours. Well, it actually is ours. It's just ours
Mm.
to remember and reclaim
Mm.
that for ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. And if we will go back to this analogy, every morning being like a big Christmas tree with all the presents under it, underneath it. I mean, you could, as I said, on autopilot, miss the tree because you don't see it. You're so on autopilot, you are so in this everyday life and the everyday stress that it's outside of your frequency, so you cannot see it. But then you can also be in another frequency. Say that you're disappointed, that things do not work out as you want. It's like kicking the presents under the tree. You have a present, but you kick it because you do not want to see it. You are so much in this frequency where you're angry or bitter that you will kick the presents. As soon as you start recognizing that this day is full of things that I can explore, which will not cost me anything to explore them. You don't need money to explore them. You can explore them by watching a snowflake
Yeah. Yeah.
glimmer in the afternoon sun,
Mm,
and it connects you vertically to who you truly are.
mm,
When you stop and become mindful in the smallest of the moments, you connect vertically to who you are. If you stay on autopilot, or even worse, if you kick the presence all around, you will be on a horizontal plane
yeah. Yeah.
and never being able to see anything. It would be two-dimensional. It becomes profane, it becomes dull, it becomes not exciting. You're not curious because it is flat.
Mm,
It's like a flat line. You're not living.
yeah. Yeah.
So you need to be connected vertically at times. Otherwise, it's a flat line.
Mm,
So becoming aware of the small things. And I know people will say, well, that doesn't make a change. I can sit there and I can daydream all the day long, but it does make a change in your frequency. And
mm,
that is where your reality originates, in your frequency.
mm.
So if you make that change, just looking at the small things, like giving without expecting anything. As a parent, As a child, that might be harder if you come from circumstances where you've been abused, so you can't give without expecting anything. It's really tough. But as a parent, if you have children or as a grown-up with friends, when you start giving without expecting anything, you create this space of miracles. And
Mm,
this is what Christmas is about. You're supposed to give things without expecting anything in return.
yeah.
Maybe a smile, a hug, but not expecting it. That is a bonus.
Mm,
So when you start tapping into this frequency where you give without expecting anything, you stand in the frequency of abundance and in the frequency of unconditional love. And
mm,
it comes from you, so you feel it,
mm,
because you're the sender of it. You cannot find unconditional love outside of you because you cannot want it, need it, crave it, ask for it, because
mm,
then it's not unconditional. So
yeah.
the only place where unconditional love can enter this world is through you, and
Mm,
this is where you can feel it. How do you feel it? Well, giving without expecting anything in return.
mm,
That's how you feel it. That is where this miracle is created. And a child, when you see a child receive a gift, all you need back is to see the joy in its eyes. It
yeah.
might not even know that you gave it to it.
Yeah.
The joy in itself will make you feel whole.
Right. Right. And also, a child purely receives. Can you imagine a
Yes.
child on Christmas say,
Yes.
"Oh, I can't accept this," and push
Yeah.
it off, and then what that would do to the parent? Like, no, I bought that for you, and I think that's how, I like to use the word God, source, universe,
Mm-hmm.
however someone defines this great oneness that we find ourselves in this cosmic game.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also, I think, how the perception is like every day the present's there for us to unwrap, and
Mm-hmm.
every day the
Mm-hmm.
Christmas tree's standing there, and we have a hard time receiving, so we say, oh no, I can't receive
Mm-hmm.
this, and they bypass it. A child would never do that. A child just
Mm-hmm.
receives, and that's in the receiving is where the joy comes in. The joy is, I think joy is a derivative of us receiving all the good, all the beauty, all the wonder that is available.
Yes, and it's so beautiful that you're saying this because you cannot perceive the kingdom of heaven unless you look through a child's eyes. This is what it is about, being able to receive without guilt,
Yeah.
without ego, just receiving it. I remember you and I had this talk some months ago, or maybe a year or two ago, and you said something that I really, really liked because it was about receiving and giving love.
Mm.
And do you remember what it
Yeah.
was? Can
Yeah,
you say
so
it? Yeah.
yeah, so in Hebrew, the word love is ahava, and
Hmm.
ahava means to give. So in Hebrew, the word love is to give.
Hmm.
And I realize that the greatest act of love that we can give another is to receive their love.
Yes.
that's that's it. Like, when I receive, I am actually giving you love.
Yes.
You
Hmm.
feel the, and that's where the wholeness and the oneness of humanity, if we all could see that as peace on earth, goodwill towards
Hmm.
man, not
Hmm.
because something outside of ourselves is going
Hmm.
to enable that,
Hmm.
but something inside of ourselves aligns, and we, each and every
Hmm.
one of us, can bring peace on earth and goodwill towards men. This is the responsibility and the gift. So when we allow ourselves to give and also receive, it tethers all of us. The love just continues, the light just continues,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
goodness. But if I say, oh, I can't, oh no, and I
Hmm.
stop that
Hmm.
flow of love from the giver and don't receive it, it can't pass through.
Hmm.
We can't be that conduit of light. And that's what I mean at the beginning when we were talking about the lights, how beautiful these strings of lights are on houses and trees. I see us all as this one
Hmm.
connected
Yes.
strand of light that everyone's like, wow, it's so beautiful. It is
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
It
Mm.
is so beautiful.
You know, I was thinking about how you said when your son said, I love you, and you said, your love is received.
Yeah, I receive your love. I receive it.
I receive your love. This really changed my outlook on this because
Mm,
when you say something like that, I receive your love, not only are you open to that person's love, but you're also validating them fully and utterly. There is nothing
mm,
else but love between you.
mm.
If you say I love you too, it's like transaction. It becomes a transactional
Yeah.
thing. But when you say I receive your love, I stand in your love, I receive it, and I can feel it.
Mm,
That validates the other person and it gives them a sense
yes.
of joy because not only have they been able to give love to someone else, they have been seen by that
Yes.
other.
Yes.
That is what oneness can feel
Yes.
like knowing that you are accepted with everything. When you say, I receive your love, that means I accept you. I see your soul. I connect to your soul and we are one. There
Mm,
is no ego, no filters, no veil between us. That is oneness.
yes. Yes.
And I really, really like that. You know, in the beginning of my relationship with my husband, when he would say, I love you, I would say, I love you too.
Mm.
Because I couldn't say, I know.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't know. But now, when he says something like that, and I say, I know, that's the same thing as saying, I receive it because I know
Yeah.
this.
Mm,
There is no doubt in me, and I receive it fully and utterly. And I'm thinking, you know, we never know when it's time to leave this earth.
yeah.
And if you never said that you know that the other person loves you, how will they know it was if it was received fully, as you
Mm,
say to your son,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
receive your love. I'm here, I'm open to it, I receive it.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it's really hard because if you're used to just giving,
Right.
and that can be something that comes from your past. For me, it was like this. I thought when I was a child, if I was kind and always giving, that would be that I am standing in a frequency where I'm giving love. Who would want to hurt something like that? So
Mm,
it was a protection. It was like if I send out love, then no one will give me hate back. That
mm.
was a child's version of how
Yeah.
this reality
Understandable.
works. It doesn't because people will use you. You become a people pleaser and you will be
Yeah.
abused because you're always sending love. It doesn't allow you to become the person that you're supposed to become in this world.
Right.
So for me to be able to stop that sending, just stay open and receive love from someone else was a question of big trust,
Mm, yeah.
big, big trust to
Yeah.
become open to someone else's love.
Mm. Because
So,
it could cost you everything. That's
yes,
why it to open up
yes,
fully
yes.
could
But when
cost you
you
your
do,
life, essentially.
yeah, exactly. And when you say to your son, I receive your love, you stop sending, you are open, and you give him the opportunity to dare to do such a thing, to be accepted, and for you to actually receive,
Yeah. Yeah.
not I love you too back,
Right.
because it doesn't go in. I don't know how to, it's a visual for me. I can see that it kind of stops in the middle when you say I love you too. When you say I receive your love, and then you can say, I love you back.
Yes.
That becomes, but you have to receive it. You have to allow it to, you know, take root in you in a
Yeah.
way
Enter.
for real,
Yeah.
really believing it and saying, I receive you.
Hmm.
I receive your love.
It's so as even we're talking, I'm looking. Most of how I see the world is through everything's a formula and a process, and
Mm,
if I never like the result of anything that I'm experiencing, I look and change the variable because the
mhm,
process will produce an output every single time.
mm,
And
mm,
I've been thinking about this narrative of religion and specifically Christianity, which I've left, but also understand like what is it really saying. And there's this famous verse that John 3:16, for God so loved the world
mm,
that he gave. So there you go. The word love is to give. So God
Yes.
loves and he gives. And then it says his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Well, what model is that? What is actually believing is allowing it in. It's God gives, and our great job, regardless of all the narrative of religion, just to be open and receive
Hmm.
and walk in it. And a child believes. That's what makes
Yes.
the gift is
Yes. Yes.
the believing that life is in good is in store for me.
Hmm.
Wonder is in store for me. And a child wakes up every day with that joy or should or
Yes.
gets to.
Hmm.
And that I think is the great gift. We have lost our ability to receive
Hmm.
because of all the wounds, the trauma, the fear, the coercion, the
Hmm.
materialism, the commercialism,
Hmm.
all the isms that have clouded and kind of held that child deep
Hmm.
within us that wants
Hmm.
to just come out and say,
Hmm.
look at the lights. Like, this is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, you know? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. It's a question of to become childlike again is to open, to surrender, and to allow a higher frequency to bring the gifts that are there because we do live in a benevolent universe.
Right, right.
We do live in a benevolent universe. And if we're not seeing that, then we are omitting the Christmas tree in our way every single morning. Like
Yes.
we are literally not, we are choosing not to see it.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
it's an unconscious choice, it's autopilot is a
Mm,
choice.
yeah.
You can stop and you can wake up. Like this little girl, there she goes. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Hi.
What are you
Oh.
doing? Are you excited for Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You love the lights?
Yes.
What's your favorite
Yes.
part? What's your favorite? Do you like the Christmas tree?
Yes.
Okay, good. I love you. Okay, go have fun.
Yeah,
There
but
you go.
again, it's the same thing. Like if you do not create this space for your child to see this magic, it will create its own magic, but
Yeah,
it will be less and it won't trust as much. I
right.
remember myself as a child, we got these small stickers that you could put on your window, and it
Mm.
was like the Disney version of Santa Claus
Mm.
and the reindeers and stuff. And me and my brother, I remember we woke up in the middle of the night. This was very close to Christmas, and it was a cold winter here. And it started snowing. So I
Oh,
woke my
wow.
brother up, and we were looking at the snow, and it was like really magical, like
Mm.
Disney magic.
Yeah.
And we started putting these stickers up on the window, and we stood there in awe about these stickers and the snow outside. It was
Mm.
nothing, and yet both me and him we remember this to this
Mm. That's
day.
so
We
cool.
sometimes we
Yeah.
remind each other of this. We created that magic
Mm.
together because there was this hope.
Yeah.
Because Christmas is very much about hope,
Yes.
about
Yes. Yes.
remembering,
Yes.
about surrendering, hoping, remembering, being present and not on autopilot.
Right. That's right.
So, I mean, just creating the space for a child to explore this
Yes.
can leave them with a sense that this is a beautiful world, regardless of what's going on outside. Because
Absolutely.
it's not like we're hiding or lying to ourselves. Of course, there is, dangers and there is so many things that you can talk negatively about in this world. But
Mm.
why would we choose this when there is an opportunity, at least now, to
Mm.
focus on the light, to focus on the hope, to focus on the return of
Yes.
something beautiful?
Yes.
Because, as you said, yesterday was the darkest day on the northern
Yep.
hemisphere. And
Yes.
now it's going to be dark for 3 more days. And on December the 25th, the sun will rise a little bit above the horizon and light returns.
Yes.
Now, I've
Yes.
been thinking about the colors of Christmas, and
Mm.
special. But I was thinking about the colors of Christmas. So we have gold, we have red, we have green. Sometimes there's a little bit of silver, but those three
Yeah.
colors are the colors of Christmas.
Yeah.
So if you look at gold, gold symbolizes the sun,
Yes.
and the sun is life. It
Yes.
is light and it is life. Without the gold, without the sun, there is no life on earth. The red could symbolize the color of your heart and
Mm.
blood, the life force in you. So the color of your heart would be the red thing. Of course, people can say, well, yeah, but it can also symbolize something negative like the devil or something. It's all within you. Whatever you choose to see in a symbol,
Yeah.
it will be active in that symbol.
Yeah.
So we can say that the red symbolizes the color of your heart, which would be extended into love, care, compassion, unconditional giving,
Mm.
presence. The green would be connected to nature,
Yeah. Life. Yeah.
life, nature, life force,
Hmm.
and nature works from a perspective of abundance. It never, ever works from any other perspective. There is
Mm.
abundantly many life all the time. It look like dead. If you walk on the streets here, you would say all the trees are dead. They're not.
Hmm.
They're just sleeping. And then it starts
Yeah.
and it gives in abundance. So the gifts come from that. So all of these things are there to remind us of life, light, love,
Mm.
abundance, gifts that the universe is presenting to us
Mm.
all the time.
Yeah.
July 25, it's the same thing. It's Christmas Day when we
Yeah.
wake up.
Yeah.
I want us
That's
all to
right.
think, to be like a child on December 25th.
Yes.
Today is a new day, and
Yes.
there are new gifts. Every single morning, there are new gifts under this tree, and
Mm.
it's for you to open them. If
Mm.
you don't open them, the universe will give you something else to explore.
Yeah.
It will tap into the frequency that you're vibing on,
Yeah.
and then it will try to give you gifts in the form of maybe an obstacle so that you will wake up, in the form of um, a problem so that you will wake up. All of these things are there for you to wake up and see that there are gifts there for you.
Mm.
So everything is a gift. I know,
Yes.
I don't know how the feeling I have about this when I say that the universe is endless when it comes to gifts. It's a question of opening up and allowing yourself to see the gifts, not kicking them out
Yes.
of your way or
Yes.
omitting them totally.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. I was thinking, I don't know if I'm sure everyone's seen a nativity scene, and this nativity
Mhm,
scene is synonymous with Jesus being born, and um, but it's not chronologically accurate, meaning the
mm,
three wise men came a few years later, maybe when Jesus was two, to give the gifts, but they followed the star and they come, and the three wise men are referred to the magi, and magi is plural for maga, and they were
mhm.
each magicians, and they were
Yes.
magic, and they were bringing their magic gifts to this time. And I was thinking about the color when you said colors, and if you look at the
Mm,
nativity scene, you have shepherds that
mhm.
they're connected to nature. They
Yes.
walk the earth. So there's your green. You
Mhm.
have the wise men that bring gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So there's the
Yes.
gold. And it's
Mhm.
supposed to be this intersection of nature,
Mhm.
gifts, and love is the symbol
Mhm.
of, for God so loved the world. Here is
Yes.
the acceptance of us. So there you have red, you
Yes.
have green, you have gold.
Yes.
And each and every one of us, this is where I think the awakening is happening. And
Mhm.
it's scary for people, especially I understand because it was scary for me to leave the religious narrative of
Mm.
what does it mean? Is it new age? Is it
Mhm.
satanic? Is it, I don't,
Mhm.
whatever the narratives are, there's this narrative that keeps people from
Mm.
exploring and really coming to this place. I am loved.
Mhm.
I receive the love. And in that love, I get to give that love, and I get to explore that how does that nativity scene be embodied fully in me now?
Yes.
Am I open to receive? Is the light in me and coming out of me? Am I bringing
Mm.
peace on earth, goodwill towards men?
Yes.
Am I receiving others'
Mm-hmm.
gifts? Am I open to that? The
Mm-hmm.
frankincense, gold, and myrrh, like this is a symbol of what's going on inside of us.
Yes.
It's not some
Yes.
external historical narrative. You can see it that
Mm.
way. And maybe it's dual, maybe the dual
Mm.
meaning of it is perfectly fine. You can take it literal, but I think the real story is, are
Mm.
we open to receive? Is the light shining in us? Do we have wonder to allow nature, the shepherds, the
Mm.
spiritual gifts, the magicians,
Mm-hmm.
and this place where all comes and converges in us so that we can reawaken the wonder of being a child again.
Yes, it is it's so beautifully put, Lucas, because it's so accurate at the same time. It has to do with, as you say, awakening,
Yes.
remembering and awakening to the abundance that is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what does, I mean, awakening, if I would ask you, what is the most beautiful gift you can give this Christmas?
Mm.
And to me, listening to you would be, well, my presence.
Yeah. Yeah.
My presence would be that. And when I say my presence, it's not my ego speaking. Look at me, here I am
Yeah.
dressed in red.
Yeah.
It's more my presence of seeing you and receiving love from you,
Mm.
receiving love from everyone listening, receiving it. That would be my presence because
Yes.
that would also be my present from the universe. It's like
Mm.
if we are not awake to this, if we are not present, if we are not present, it would look like, the three wise men knocking on your door and there's no one home.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And they won't leave the gifts outside. They want to give them to you
Yes.
personally. So you
Yes.
miss the opportunity of receiving those gifts. If
Mm.
you are not present, if you're not you know, there with your children and your family every single day. Now, today, I mean, this is the day or 2 days before Christmas. So you have an opportunity to be present with everyone who is what is it called? Who is experiencing, exploring Christmas, who is honoring Christmas. I
Yes.
can't find the
Yes.
English word for it. Anyway,
Yeah.
who is honoring Christmas. There is an opportunity for you to be present, fully present with them, to
Yeah.
honor them, to with them. Christmas, the word Christmas is like Christ and Mass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you
You're
hear
good.
me? All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah. You're
okay,
good.
all right. Christ and Mass. Now, Christ would be Christ consciousness. And for me, it doesn't have to do with Christ and Jesus and religion. Christ consciousness is full presence,
Mm-hmm.
unconditionally present, understanding and unconditionally present. That
Yeah.
would be Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
And Mass would be like ascending, like information from above, information from your source
Yeah.
being transmitted through you. So
Yes.
that is what
Yes.
Christmas is. It has to do with tapping into Christ consciousness, transforming it through you into something
Mm.
where you give something to someone else, your presence to
Yes.
someone else.
Yes.
It sounds
So
like mind acrobatics, but it's not. It's like
right.
tapping into your source, allowing the best version of yourself to be present with the other people.
Mm. It's beautiful. It is. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited. Merry Christmas to everyone because it
Yes.
gets to be,
Yes.
it gets to
Mm.
be this. We've gone through a very interesting period in the world where they've tried to
Mm.
strip away I always say they because I can
Mm.
identify they, but there is this force that has tried to strip away every magical thing
Mhm.
a human being can possess and to make
Mm.
it monotonous and cold and gray and lifeless and materialistic and
Mm,
the complete opposite of magic.
mm. Absolutely.
And we're
Yeah.
reclaiming.
Yes, and it's a question of, just this is not a question of um, fighting.
Right, right.
It's a question of being present and seeing the world through a child's eyes,
Hmm.
honoring all the funny, magical things that go on right in front of you.
Yes.
You don't have to travel to the other side of the world. You can be where you are with what you have. You can explore. Because here's the thing, the universe is um, a miraculous place.
Yes.
There are miracles hiding everywhere. And
Yes.
how do you unveil a miracle? Well, you look for where there is love. And the
Hmm.
love, if it comes from you, then you have a lens that is literally looking for miracles.
Yes. Yes. That's so good. That's so good.
And it will help you find the miracles if you are in a loving frequency,
Yes.
in a frequency where a child would be.
Yes. Yes. It's so good. Thanks for this beautiful Sunday live. Thank you everyone for joining. Merry Christmas to
Mm.
you, Gordana, your family, and to everyone watching and sending you love. Thanks for this fun live today.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you too, Lucas, and Merry Christmas to everyone. And remember, there is a Christmas tree in your doorway to your bedroom. Do
Mm,
not pass it without opening the presents. Be
yeah.
aware of it. Open the presents every single day. There is a Christmas tree standing in your way.
Mm,
Look at it, enjoy it, be in awe as the children are, and
yes.
open the presents every single day. The small presents, the big presents, just open them.
Mm, I love it. Beautiful. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.